After an hours-long weather delay, he has made his way to the National Mall.
That's right. Mr. Trump was emphatic that he would make this speech no matter what. We're going to listen in and bring you portions of that speech first, but we want to go to Dominique Moody, who has been out on the mall all afternoon. Dominique, what an afternoon of ups and downs and confusion and a little bit of chaos, too.
Yeah, Jim, I think you hit it on the head when you said that chaos. You know, we've been speaking with people, and when we talk with them, they say that they have been going from one intersection to try to get in to try to see if they can find a good seat for the fireworks show, and then they say that they get turned around and then they go to another entrance and it's the same story again. But the most important part is that they're still trying to pack their patience, if you will. So what we've been seeing throughout today after that evacuation notice was made was that they were directing people to go into some of the buildings, including the Reagan building. That's where we were, and we saw lots of people who were inside just trying to, you know, chill out for a couple of minutes as they waited for the evacuation to be over. Of course, we know now that they were allowed to go back inside, and so that is what they did. Throughout the night, we have seen some people who have decided that, you know, ultimately they thought they were going to be able to come inside and enjoy the fireworks, but they decided they just want to go home because they have waited. They've been in the hot sun all day, and so they decided that they were just going to go home. In fact, we spoke with one woman who talked a little bit about what she experienced. Take a listen.
Well, everything up until them making us leave because of possible thunderstorms, everything was lovely. My question is, the thunderstorms were way out there. We should decide whether we want to stay or go, but apparently that was taken from us. And it was unorganized. It was chaotic. And anytime there's chaos, that means there's confusion.
Chaos, confusion. Those are some of the remarks that we were hearing from some of the people who decided to come. But there were a couple of people who said, you know, we came here, we weren't able to get inside at this entrance. That doesn't matter. We're going to go to another entrance and see if we can get inside. So that's what some people have decided to do. We have seen a steady flow of people coming from this entrance and ensuring that they're able to maybe go back home and get back safely. Back to you, Jim and I.
All right, Dominique Moody live for us tonight with the latest there on the ground. Dominique, thank you.
News 4 cameras capture the scene as the gates reopened and people returned to the National Mall tonight following that weather delay. Everyone had to go back through the long security lines again ahead of the president's speech and those fireworks.
And around 9:05 p.m., President Trump posted this on social media saying, "We will wait it out." He added, quote, "It's Saturday night. Let's have some fun, even if we are out late tonight."
Well, News 4's Mauricio Casillas has made it back to his position on the media platform near the Washington Monument.
All right, Mauricio, tell us what it's been like for you out there. You were dealing with the extreme heat, then you had to evacuate and make your way back in. Set the scene for us.
Yeah, Jim and Unn, I think you heard it from the person that Dominique interviewed earlier. She said it was chaotic. It was 100% chaotic. We're not even at the riser spot because we didn't have time to set up all the way behind us. The stage behind me. We were able to make it past security about 10 minutes ago, and it was utter chaos. I mean, there was lines and crowds of people, hundreds of people cramped together just trying to push through. And the biggest frustration, there was no plan. No one knew where exactly we were going. No one knew which entrance to go through. And we were cramped there. I was talking to some of our editors, some of our producers saying, "Hey, are you going to be ready for your live shot?" I said, "Yeah, we should be." We left the food court, which is one of the areas that we had been evacuated to at the Reagan building. We left that at 9:30. We barely made it past security about 5 minutes before 11 o'clock tonight. Rushed to get here. Over to my right is the Washington Monument. If I can pan over and show you to set the scene a little bit better. So the Washington Monument is lit up, and there is a show that's going on there. As you can hear some of the music. President Trump hasn't started speaking yet, as that musical performance is still going on. There's plenty of people lined up on the lawn here at the base of the Washington Monument. These are, I would consider them the lucky ones who were able to make it past security, because when we made it through those magnetometers, again, this is TSA style security because it is such a high profile security event. When we made it past, there were still hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in line waiting to get through. Let's talk about the conditions, the heat. It was absolutely brutal, the heat that people had to deal with. We're talking about heat indexes of 110 degrees, close to 115 degrees. People out here for hours just trying to get through. Then once the gates open at 5 p.m., they're able to get through. They're able to enjoy the show for a little bit. Those flyovers, the clouds come in, the storms come in, and a little bit after 7 p.m., those same people who waited for hours had to then clear out the National Mall and then hunker down in different buildings, museums, the Reagan building, which is where we were at a couple of blocks away. We heard from a lot of people, frustration, understandably, because they waited for hours to get in here. Many of them, as we were waiting in that chaotic area trying to get through, saying, this isn't worth it. We're just gonna head home because it's too much. Exhausted people, people passing out, DC Fire and EMS coming through, saying, please move out of the way, we need to help people. Chaotic, that is what the scene has been like. For the folks in here, they're gonna get to enjoy the fireworks, they're gonna get to see what comes next with Salute 250, but there are so many people outside of the perimeter that are gonna get stuck waiting, and they're gonna have to watch the fireworks, if they tough it out on the streets here in the National Mall. Jim and Nunn?
Wow, Mauricio, you certainly set the stage for what was a very busy and chaotic night. So when everyone had to get back in through security to try to secure a spot, you're saying the people who didn't make it could not come in, so they're stuck. They can no longer get in. The event's going to start without them, and they have to make a choice whether to leave or stay and watch from outside the perimeter.
Yeah, and I think that's the reality for a lot of people. Because it is a highly secured event, they really couldn't pack a lot of stuff to come through as they made it past Secret Service through that security checkpoint. So it's not like people left their stuff here. It's not like they could have lawn chairs or umbrellas or anything like that. But it's the fact of the matter that they waited hours in line to get in, and so many of them are still outside the perimeter right there. So they have to make a decision. Do I try and watch the fireworks? Do I try and capture a little bit or try and see a little bit of the show that I can from outside? Or do I just go home, go to my hotel, go to wherever I am at? Because it has been an exhausting day for thousands of people out here in the nation's capital.
Yeah, exhausting is probably the best word for it. All right, Mauricio, stay with us live. We're going to be checking back with you throughout the hour. You know, the president posted, hey, it's Saturday night, let's have fun. But these fireworks, in reality, are going to be going on probably in part of Sunday morning. And a lot of these people have families with kids. So it's an effort down there.
And we're still dealing with the weather that's not over yet.
Exactly.